Welcome to the Real Estate Debate, where we debate the hottest topics in San Diego real estate. Let's meet today's panelists. Co-host Sean Cahan, Vice President of Cornerstone Mortgage Group. Mark Schwartz, Real Estate Broker, Mark Schwartz Realty. Libby Rogers, RB Haley Fine Homes and Estates. And Camille Bruno of Better Homes and Gardens, Macmillan Realty.
All right, welcome to the Real Estate Debate, where we debate the hottest topics in San Diego real estate. Derek Evans here, your host, and thank you all so much for joining me today here on the orange carpet. Many of you have been here before. Some of you here for the first time, all on the blue couch today, Camille and Mark. Topic number one today. This is something I've been wanting to discuss for quite some time. I've just been waiting for the right panel. So you guys are that panel. And it has to do with Redfin. Now, Redfin's been very disruptive in the real estate space as far as their website as being one of the top websites that people visit to look for homes and find home values and things like that. But they're also a real estate brokerage. So what I wanted to figure out is if you believe that Redfin is a real threat to the traditional way of doing real estate business, Camille.
I think a little bit of what they do is a little bit misleading because they advertise that they'll sell your house for 1.5%. But what they don't tell you is you got to pay the buyer's agent. And so they get real happy that they're going to pay 1.5% commission. And that's really not the truth.
Just the sell side.
Right. So if they're just going to expose it to their Redfin buyers on their website, then they're not getting all their exposure as they can at the MLS and all the other websites. So the 1.5% is a little bit misleading. So I just think that they're being misleading in the beginning. I don't know how trustworthy they really are in the end.
All right. Mark, what do you think?
I don't consider them a threat at all. And I rarely run into them, but certainly I've interacted with agents and have an agent that works on my team that was previously there. And I certainly know how they, work the clients and give the discount and how they really work the agent and keep their commissions really thin and get them out there working hard. So I just don't know about how the service-oriented end of it compares to a full-service realtor or real estate broker.
Okay. So from as far as being a threat, you don't feel that they're a threat to you?
I don't feel it's a threat, no. Certainly no problem competing with somebody who isn't in full force or a full-time company and or a full-service brokerage.
Okay. Libby, what do you think about this one?
Anytime you have, I kind of liken them to the help you sells of yesterday that have just completely gone away. I don't even know if that company is still viable. I haven't seen them for a long time, but they were the hottest topic, and they might have been the past version of this question.
I Pay One was another one that went away and came back.
They seem to pop up at opportune times when the market appears to be strong, and they wither away very quickly in hard times, because I would say it's laughable to think that they're a threat. Most of my colleagues despise working with them, quite honestly, because from the start to finish, you might deal with 6 different agents, because I liken them to assembly line real estate. And if you're having to pay your client to come to you, then they're appealing to a crowd I would prefer probably not to have as a client.
Gotcha.
And so there certainly may be a market for them, for those people that are wanting that discount or wanting that rebate. But I certainly think that most of my clientele that might shop on Redfin for convenience would then pick up the phone and call me. And so I don't look at them as a threat whatsoever.
It's true. A lot of people do use the website and then use a traditional agent.
I have clients all the time searching for Redfin, call me up and say, I saw this house on Redfin. A lot of times those houses aren't even active in the MLS. They're homes that have already gone pending, withdrawn, canceled listings, and already closed. So we're constantly, tracking and trying to find that listing. I can't seem to find it here, and then until you search sold pending or withdrawn, and then you find that list.
Now that makes a lot of sense to me, Mr. Cahan, the mortgage geek, Sean Cahan.
Well,
now you've moderated a number of the Redfin roundtables that we used to do on the radio.
Absolutely.
In the past, so you've become familiar with their model and some of the people there. Do you think that what they're doing is a threat to the traditional agents out there?
I don't think that it's really like a threat, just because there's always going to be someone that does something at a discount. And it's really kind of, if the mass majority does it, and this is the standard protocol, and another company comes in and does a discount to retain a certain demographic of individuals or a target market, that's kind of what they're going after. Like you just stated, that you know, the type of clientele that normally goes with a Redfin agent is somebody that wants their commission back, and that's not the type of clientele that I want to go after. So, you know, everyone has their own target market. That's their target market. The assembly line, that doesn't always work. That does work with some individuals and does not work with other individuals. I mean, I deal with that on the mortgage side where, you know, there's a couple of my competitors out there that are incredibly great priced. But again, you're going to be dealing with this person who checks box A, this person checks box B. They get paid, you know, only a certain amount per file. And if that type of clientele calls me and just say, hey, here's my fee. I'm a little bit higher due to I need to make a commission. And if they choose to go the other route, then that's fine with me. So I wouldn't really consider them a threat. I just depends on what your target market is.
You brought up a great point. So there's always a market for a discount brokerage. You know, as far as a threat, it's all about the individual. Like, are we threatened by it? Well, we're professionals, right? And it's all about handling objections. Where do we get our business from? Clients that refer us business that we've worked with in the past, friends, family, sphere of influence. Those are the types of people that we work with. Now, obviously, everybody wants a discount, right? Anybody that's coming in is going to want commission back. It's all a matter of handling the objections that go on. I think what happens is 99.9% of the people are looking at the looking at the internet for homes, trying to search the multiple listing service direct, etc. up front. Redfin, Zillow, these sites will bring up the multiple listing service, whether they're accurate or not. And when you search an area, those are generally the things that come up first when you're looking into Google or a Yahoo search. So initially, somebody's going to go through that process first, and then, yes, come back, like Libby said, to a professional or somebody that's built rapport with that individual.
Okay, so the sort of the franchise model or the assembly line model doesn't allow for that opportunity to build the relationships as much. And I guess if the agents are getting business through the website from, you know, their corporate entity, if you will, or through their website, then they don't need to necessarily build relationships.
Well,
so
I think
can see where that
yeah, I
works.
mean, it's a numbers game, right? So these guys are kicked leads, and then they go out and they work the lead, and they get assigned it. If they don't jump on it, it goes to the next individual. But I don't believe that they're available or even allowed to communicate with the individual past that transaction at that point. It's on to the next, on to the next. So you don't build a book of business, and you don't have that past client base that you can work for referrals and for, you know, working within their family and friends.
Okay, that makes sense. Anyone else want to say anything else
And
on
in
Redfin?
all due respect, I don't believe that the agents come away with the expertise to be able to advise that client very well. Because if you're just simply the agent that's in the assembly line chink of the wheel that's showing property only,
Right.
and now we're going to pass on to the person who's going to negotiate that property. How can they possibly know? How many times have you looked at a property online, been super excited, you get to the property and you say, what else is there?
Mm-hmm.
Convinced it's going to be the property for you. Now you're going to trust the most expensive thing you're going to buy to somebody who's going to negotiate on that transaction that never even saw the property, because they're not the individual that was out doing the showing. And these are people that are happy to work for small amounts of money to have the steady paycheck, but they're the people advising you on the most expensive thing you'll ever own.
Yeah. No, that's Camille,
No,
you wanna say
I think the
something?
same thing, because I don't like the assembly line, and I think traditional agents are, like, I'm soup to nuts. I'm there through the whole transaction, and when you're doing a deal with someone else that has actually done the agent visual, and they're not the one that sold the house, so they don't know anything about it, and they're calling me, asking me questions, and that's the first time they've ever been in the property. I don't think that's full service. I think they're doing a disservice to the consumer.
I can definitely see all those perspectives, no question about it. I think that their website is the best one that's out there amongst the big websites to look for properties, and that's really the main thing Redfin has going for it right now. I know they haven't made a profit yet, but they're growing
Well, they've been around for how
all over the
long?
place. I think it's been almost 10 years now.
Right, and so they
Yeah.
haven't made a profit yet.
I've made a profit. No, they've
Right,
been
so they keep
reinvesting in
building
growth.
the business, right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and I think there's going to be a stock offering soon. So there's some interesting things coming up.
Sure.
That we will see what happens, because a lot of the people who initially got in with Redfin got stock options, the agents, and they aren't as compensated as well. So, you know, they were kind of really hoping for that to come to fruition. So we'll see if it does. Will that change the dynamic? What will happen there? Will all those people go to the bank with their stock options and, you know, retire? I don't know, but we'll see. It's definitely been interesting, and there's more to come. Let's jump to the second topic today, so we have some time to cover it. This one is one that's close to me right now, because I've been talking to a lot of homeowners lately, and I tell you, people are making decisions making huge decisions about real estate, whether they want to sell and then buy, or sell and that's it, or refinance or not, based on online estimates of their home's value. These things have been made very popular. The Zestimate or Z-estimate, whatever it's called. I think they want to call it the Z-estimate because they want to highlight the fact that it's an estimate because it's so wrong so often. But a perfect example is recently a lady that we talked to who has a condo in Hillcrest. She thought it was worth $300 or $290. Turns out it's worth $350. That's a big difference when you look at refinance.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a big difference if you're looking to sell and you were
Sure.
underwater or something like that in the past.
And then now to be where they're at, yeah, I think it all
correlates to
revolves around
understanding your
food.
credit,
Now, as
how
you
that
get bigger and bigger,
understands
you're
to
like,
how that
well, God,
correlates
if I
to
have
buying
4
a
beers, I
home,
might need a
buying a
burger after
business,
that, or I
buying a
might
car,
need some French
investing.
fries.
So
I
there's
think what
definitely
they've done is
steps
kind of
that we
steered
work
the
in,
market towards
but
that kind of
fundamentally
design.
it's about
And
building
of
a
course,
plan and
where they
sticking to
put
the
these
plan
places,
and teaching people
obviously,
how